Hello guys, welcome to another update video. I've been away for a little while working on some other stuff, but I got a lot of stuff that I've been working on this time, and finally have a moment to record and show you what I've been working on. So, anyways, I went through and redid all of the factions, or I spoiled it already. I went through and redid all of the character code for as far as like moving your characters goes and all that stuff, enemies, your characters, and different things in battle. I went through and redid that because it's been... I mean, I haven't touched this code since I freaking started the project, so it was long overdue. So I fixed a bunch of parenting issues and stuff with different things. Combined a lot of the code and done a just kind of in general nice little code cleanup there, making it a little easier to do stuff. One of the things that I made it easier to do is override certain events. Probably one of the things you'll notice is that I'm not actually controlling my characters right now, or the enemies. This entire battle is 100% AI controlled, so I actually have an override in there for my characters right now to just go off and do their own thing, which their AI is not actually set up to be very smart right now, so they're probably going to get their butts kicked, but that being said, they will give it their best shot. Actually, every unit's using the exact same AI right now, it's just the wolves are a little overpowered with that Blaze 1 spell. So, anyways, going off of that, my characters can obviously be AI controlled, and that means that all of these enemy units, in turn, can actually be player controlled. So, one thing that I did, a lot of people were asking for the ability to control enemy units, and either via cheat code or whatever, you know, if they just wanted to make a little team PvP type thing, they wanted to be able to play around with all that stuff. So I finally put that in there, so every character has a variable called player controlled. And if that is set to true, then they will be able to control that unit. Otherwise, they won't be able to. And I also added a global variable in there that sort of overrides everything, which is basically if that is set to true, it doesn't matter what settings are anywhere, you can control every single unit on the map. So if I go ahead and right now I've got a thing here to kind of override that. So if I go ahead and hit this plus button here, it will set. It'll give me access to being able to control all these units. So now I can actually move this guy around, and he is not my guy. He's obviously an enemy. And so I can go around and look at stats of all my characters. Jason got a new portrait finally. I've been working on some portraits and stuff. So Jason's done. I got Max and Syro. I've yet to start on, but those are going to be coming in soonish. But yeah, I can sort of move around the map. And the other thing too that I've been adding is factions. So if we go ahead and look at this map here, we have 4 different colored dots. Obviously we've got the green and the red, the player and the enemy, but we also have 2 other different colored dots. We've got orange and blue. And the way that works is you can basically create as many factions as you want. Every faction has a list, has 2 lists, one for enemies and one for one for enemies, one for allies. So, for example, the players, the green dots, will they have blue set to ally, which means that they can't attack blue. However, they can cast healing spells and trade and stuff with that team. However, the red and the orange are flagged as enemies to the player, so they can go ahead and attack them and stuff, but they aren't able to heal them at all. So that's in there. Actually, that kind of gives me an idea. I wonder what happened if I put enemy and ally on both lists. I would assume that that would just let me be able to walk through them and heal and hurt them, but I'm not actually sure. I will have to test that later. That sounds fun. So anyways, moving on. You've got all kinds of different teams, and they can have all kinds of different relationships. And the funny thing is you can actually have one-sided relationships. So, for example, if you wanted to have the player not be able to attack these like two different factions. However, those factions are still trying to hurt the player. So the player can heal them because they're allies, or they're technically flagged as allies, but those guys are hostile towards the player. So the player can't actually fight back against them. And so you can do different things like that. You can have like a race of monster that's just hostile towards everybody, where they'll just try to kill everybody no matter what faction you are. You can have all kinds of stuff. So that's been something that I've been working on lately. So anyways, we've got this wolf here, and he is basically, even though he is flagged as our ally, he's still just like a copy-pasted enemy. So technically it's the same as controlling an enemy. But this is our ally, so obviously if I go ahead and stay next to one of my guys, it will not let me attack him, because he's flagged as our ally, no targets in range. I do believe he's got magic, yes. So if I go ahead and try to cast Blaze, no targets, but if I go ahead and cast Heal, I can also select my ally over here as well. So that works. This guy is an enemy, so if I go ahead and stand here, it flags to attack, so I can go ahead and attack him. And if I go ahead and hit magic, select Blaze, I can go ahead and attack basically either of these two guys, because they are the enemies here. So that's that. Yeah, so basically right now I have because they're all wolf sprites, they're just basically copy pasted just for demo purposes. I'm gonna go ahead and flag AI control to off real fast. Alright. So, because they are they're all wolf sprites, they obviously when an enemy attacks an enemy, you get like a different kind of battle animation there. And sometimes, especially with the Blaze sprite, the Blaze level 1, the little like fire thing, it doesn't end up in the right spot. I don't really have a check to see if it's blasting its like another enemy or whatnot. I'm not 100% sure how I want to deal with that right now. Obviously, if the player is standing on the left side of the screen and they cast fire towards an enemy, it's going to appear on the other side of the screen. If the player casts Blaze, it's going to appear on the right side of the screen. If the enemy casts Blaze like this, it appears on the other side of the screen, because technically it's set up to hit the player. I'm not 100%. I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know how I want to deal with that, but realistically, I could have it flagged per depending on what target it's attacking or whatnot. But at the same time, something like Blaze 3 that has a persistent fire there, and also a how do I want to call it? like also it's an AoE type thing. In the case that you're hitting both a monster that is standing on the enemy side and on the player side, it's like, which direction do I, where do I put the fire, that sort of thing. But that's something I'm just gonna work out. Like it's not really anything that's major, because I think in most cases I will just have a unit standing on you know, one side of the screen. So, you know, the player is gonna, any units that are allies towards the player, they're gonna stand where the player stands, as opposed to where the enemy stands, like it's set up right now, because I just copy pasted you guys. But hey, my ally's healing me, thanks man. So that being said, I think that's about it for this update. I probably added a bunch of other stuff, but I forgot. So, anyways, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.